So talk to me about being a mum and being as ambitious as you obviously were, and managing that balance. And you just touched on it a little bit, but talk a little bit more about that.
You know, the thing is, for social workers out there, please don't come and hunt me down, you know.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late. The goodness has been done.
You know, the thing is, I really believe that discipline is important, you know, and the way I was raised, my parents disciplined me. I was beaten as a child. I wasn't beaten up. I was disciplined. And sometimes I couldn't hear and it went a bit further. And so I got beaten. That hasn't put me in counselling because I've understood the intention of it. So when I'm disciplining my children and, you know, beating them or however I've managed to do it, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of what I've done because I set boundaries. Because if I don't set boundaries for my children, somebody else is coming to set boundary for them. And that could be prison. So better you get it from me and I take the stick for it. And as I said, I'm not beating them up, I'm disciplining them. And I'll give you different stages. Here's this stage, you cross that, here's this stage. My middle child was a child that it was pointless beating him because he couldn't hear. He just went further than the other children. So we had to find other measures to bring him in. And every child has had different measures. I don't just wake up and just beat my kids. They've had different discipline.
There's no one size fits all.
Yeah, because there's no one size fits all. And it's nice to be able to go, okay, you learnt from that. My first son, he learnt from the beating. Second son didn't. My daughter hasn't had to be beaten. So it kind of like swings from roundabouts.
Being a mother in this time, what are your thoughts on that, and how would you have navigated it had it been you?
It's a hard time, man. It's a difficult time because our children are going through some really tough challenges. And I'm talking survival challenges. You might send them out and think you've done a great job at home. You woke them up, you gave them their breakfast, you fed them, put clean clothes on them, and sent them to walk through a gang area. You may not know it, just by your location. So every day they're going through different scenarios, under different pressure. They join gangs or they start smoking or they start doing things to fit in. And those things change their lives. And they come home to you and you don't know what you're dealing with because that's not how you sent them. Social media has put them under pressure because they've got to have this phone, they've got to have these trainers, they've got to have this, they've got to be the in thing all the time. And that's a lot of pressure. So every day you have to be checking on your kids. You have to be checking phones, you have to be checking the computer because, excuse me.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, because every day you've got to be checking it because at the end of the day, you can't just leave what you've done and not think that they're facing challenges outside. And so it is hard. You have to be checking your kids' rooms. You have to be checking their pockets. You got to look for residues of weed. You have to look for knife. You might sit at home and go, not my child. And if it's not your child, great. But if it is your child, you need to be on it. And you need to be guiding them daily. And if there isn't a mother, father figure or whoever's not around, you need to put that in place. And I think that as a community, we need to be a little bit more responsible for the children that are out there. Say, for instance, you know your child, your sister doesn't have the father figure around. You have to become the father figure. You can't separate yourself from it now. We have to be that village again and stop acting like we can do this by ourselves because we can't. This is a big one.